and he had much courage in his own words. When David looked around, he recognized and he realized the challenge that was before him. When he came to Saul and he told Saul that he was ready to tackle the challenge, Saul said, well, David, I tell you what you do. Why don't you take my armor and my sword? But I come to tell you, my brothers and sisters, when you stand in the army of the Lord, you can't fight in another man's armor. You got to fight in the armor that God prepares for you. David went down in the valley of Eli, and down in the valley that ran a brook. And down in the brook, David found 5 smooth stones. The Bible says David reached down and picked up the stones and put them in his pouch and moved on to face a giant by the name of Goliath. As David was marching toward Goliath, Goliath looked down and began to start laughing at David. As Goliath looked down, he began to start shouting insults at David. As you move forward in your life, there'll be those who will be shouting insults at your progress. As you move forward in your life, there'll be those who will try to disdain you and push you aside. But I'm here to tell you that the word is true, that if you make one step, God will make 2. The Bible says that when David got to the desired spot, he put one foot on one rock and another foot on one landing. He reached down in his pocket and he got 1 smooth stone. The Bible says he loaded up his sling and he began to start twirling it overhead. I could hear David crying in the depths of his heart, you Philistine giant who have come against the armies of God. You may have frightened them. You may have made them to quake, but I stand here with the power of God. And now, in the name of Jehovah El Shaddai, now, in the name of Jehovah El Sikkenu, now in the name of Jehovah El Rahai, now in the name of the God that provides, now in the name of God that watches over me when I fought the bear and the lion, now in the name of him who is my shepherd and I shall not want, now in the name of him who leads me beside the still waters, take this rock and let it go up. And the Bible says that when he let the stone go, the stone flew. It flew past the river. It flew past the Israelites. It flew past the Philistines and it hit Goliath square in the head. And I come to tell you that when you release your faith can fly past the doubters. Your faith can fly past the haters. Your faith can fly past your fears. Your faith can fly past your limitations. Your faith can fly on to victory. To God be the glory for the great things that he has done. Goliath fell with a great thud. David jumped up, took the sword of Goliath and cut off his head and allowed that head to stand in victory. I come to declare today, take the head of your doubt, take the head of your pain, take the head of your suffering, take the head of your limitations and let it rise as a sign of victory. Is he that's in you and you and you. You already got the victory. You got the victory. You already have the victory. Oh, I know as you look at your life, you see all of the limitations in your life. You look at all of how you struggle and have failed. You look at the doors that have been closed in your face. You look sometimes even at the tears that you've had to shed. But I'm here to tell you, my brothers and sisters, we serve a God that if you put it in his hands, he'll open doors that no man can shut. He'll make rough roads plain and crooked roads straight. And even in the midst of tear stains, he'll come down from the sky and he'll wipe the tears from your eyes. It's no secret what God can do. He showed up for David. He showed up for Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. He showed up for Daniel. He showed up for Hezekiah, Ezekiel, Isaiah, Hosea, Obadiah, Nahum, and Habakkuk. He showed up for Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. He showed up for Paul and Silas. He showed up for James and Jesse. And he'll show up for you. He said, I promise never to leave you, nor to forsake you. But you've got to be willing to deal with your own fear factor. You got to be willing to move beyond the fears of your life and move forward to victory. My question to you, is it worth it? Is it worth it? Only you have the answer to that. I tell you all the time, every tub, what? Gotta sit on what? Its own bottom. Every child got to answer that question for himself. Mama can't answer it for you. Daddy can't answer it for you. Pastor can't answer it for you. You got to answer it for yourself. And I'm not going to stand up here and tell you that as you conquer one fear, another fear won't come. I'm not going to tell you that as you get through one storm, another storm won't come. As long as you on this side of the rapture, you either coming out, going in, or waiting for. Hello? But isn't it good to have a friend who's still in the shelter building business? How many of y'all know what I'm talking about? Isn't it good to have a friend that's still building bridges over troubled waters? Isn't it good having a friend that's closer than a brother? If you know him today, I dare you to trust him and let him help you deal with the fear factors of your life. With our pastor's permission, maybe there's somebody here today needs to come into the shelter. Maybe there's somebody here today who needs to step across the bridge. Maybe there's somebody here today who's tired of being afraid of the world and ready to trust God. If you're here today, why don't you come?
He was there all the time. The Lord was there all the time, waiting patiently in line.
Is the one today.
The Lord was there.